So Presley, so good to see you.
What's up, man?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, since we were skinny, remember?
We were skinny back then. July 2015. Oh, what a night.
Oh, what a night.
Little place called St. John's, little corner pocket of Portland.
I love St. John's.
It's great.
Cheers to our first meeting. Holla.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Remember when we both lived in Portland and those crazies were hanging off the St. John's Bridge?
Dude, that was insane.
Oh my gosh, they were like just stopping boats and tents and...
You know they got fined like $30,000 a day?
Which none of them paid, I guarantee
I'm
it.
sure.
That was kind of a cool time. Like I walked into that salon, I was pretty new with Hanzo. You had never even heard of us.
I did not know what or who you were.
I still think a lot of people don't know who I am, but they know who you are, which is great. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I always forget that it was you.
I know, a lot of people do. I'm pretty forgetful.
Remember that time we met? I'm like, no.
I know.
Oh, wait.
That's why I'm working on, like, I don't know if you noticed the mullet, but, I'm doing some things to hopefully stand out.
Dad bod, the dad hair. You got this, like, thing.
Yes.
And you are a dad.
I am a dad now.
So you're, like,
that's real.
Fulfilling.
I mean,
all of
I
it.
feel like Billy Ray Cyrus is an idol. He was a dad.
I mean, he
had a
was
bod.
a dad. And now
He
he's
had a
a
mullet.
successful dad, manager.
He's a dadager. I don't know if I can be a dadager, but got the dad bod, mullets in check.
He doesn't really have a dad bod though. He's still kind of hot. He got rid
I
of
know.
the mullet.
Well,
You got some catching up to do.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that. So things have been amazing, awesome, wonderful for you. Look at you. I mean, I'm sitting in the presence of royalty today.
So I'm just a little, but other than that, life is like.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about that transition. I know that when we met, it was kind of funny. I probably had 6 Instagram followers. I don't even know that you had an Instagram. You were like my third picture because you were doing like the raddest. You were doing like a bald fade with like this design, and I'm like,
that guy was so cool.
I was like, I gotta take a picture of this. I don't even know how to post it or what to do, but I'm doing it.
He was so cool. He would come in and he would like sketch these things out, and they were super, super simple, but he'd be like, I want a sun with flames coming off of it that turns into a tiger's face. I'm like, I got you. Like, let's do this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm into it.
That sounds like a t-shirt I want to wear like all the time. Like, that sounds
and I think
great.
that's like the day that you came in. But so I worked at a tiny little salon there in St. John's that you saw, which is super.
The parlor.
Super cute. But I'm glad that I've moved on. And now I moved up. I'm down one street outside of the Pearl District. So.
Ooh, downtown, tell all your friends, post downtown.
Yes.
Yes.
So I work at AURIC Salon, and it's so dope. I get to work with like 5 educators.
Oh, that's great.
So it's just insanely education driven. Everyone's so passionate, and so the demographic goes up, money goes up. So that was really cool. Nice little upswing after that, and then lots and lots of traveling.
I know,
so it's been
which
crazy.
I miss. I don't get to travel to Portland near as much as I'd like, so I miss that city. A lot of good stuff going on there.
It's so good.
I feel like the hair scene there is pretty awesome right now.
I mean, it's getting there for sure. It's so weird because I think like with Portland, like you would feel that it was so much like crazy colors and like, I do them, but I do all of my vivid hair colors are done on like boss babes. Like these are not children. These are women who run crazy like corporations and like have like jewelers, and it's so cool, like the demographic that I somehow have found there of like women who just like crush it and like want purple hair.
I feel like that's a lot of like the Oregon vibe in general, right?
Is.
Like, which I love.
My girlfriend and I are always like, okay, so are they millionaires?
Right?
Or are they homeless? Like, legit though, I'm like, it's seriously.
Oregon's like the only place, like the homeless wear North Face and Patagonia, and it's like, I'm like, are you really
They're
homeless?
Like balling out of control.
Are you camping downtown? I don't know. Like, it's
and then
kind
the
of
millionaires
a hipster thing.
are like wearing a blanket down the street in the middle
Exactly.
of the day. It's so bizarre. It's because people in Portland, I always say that the people in Portland are too cool to be cool because being cool isn't cool. So everyone's working really hard to look like they're not trying at all.
Yep. And then you've got the complete other end of like the hipster vibe where it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Like I've got this amazingness going on, but I don't know where I'm going in life.
I don't think that my people are the hipsters. I think that, so I found out, I didn't even know what a hipster was until I moved to Portland. We went to this place called River Pig, and it was like a whole other world opened up to me. It was like Hanzo in a bar in Portland, but like all
love
of
that
you.
place.
But Hanzo's cool. I don't really know about those people.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
No, it's crazy. So you're on the road a ton now because Instagram keeps us in contact. That's how I see your amazing travels. And so how's that going?
You see the amazing parts of my travel.
I know, right? Like, I
Not the part where I'm like,
oh man. I remember the 15, 20 flights a month days where it's like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're going to all these amazing places. I'm like, my flight was delayed 4 hours. I had terrible food. Like, I've been sick. Like,
oh my God.
Nobody sees that.
I just got some like stuff to like, I was like, look, I can smell, I can breathe. I was just like, I don't know, I'm going to do this hanging out with Roby thing. I was like, but yeah, I got some medicine. No, I mean, you know what though? It's like one of those things like you have to be so passionate about what you do. And that's the thing that people don't see is like, you know, the downside of our travels.
Yeah.
But it's like, we get these little morsels, just like beautiful little nuggets of time that we get to spend and see our friends. And
I think that's one thing I think I've noticed a lot about you is you really do inspire a lot of people. So it's so great to see because I feel like you've really kind of catapulted pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of taken off for you. And I think, you know, how did that kind of all, you know, come about? You know, where was your start in hair? I think a lot of people kind of juggle with when they want to start hair school or anything like that, like how to start, like. So
like people ask me that and I'm just like, I didn't even know it was an option not to do it. Like my whole life. Like I was like 4 years old. I'm from Oklahoma, so I have a Mima and a Papa. And you know, my Mima, she would take me to the salon every week, and she'd get a roller set because she was gangster. She would read. She was a bibliophile, which is like a person who's addicted to reading. And so every day she would take a nap and read.
Thanks
books.
for the explanation. That sounded good.
Because some people don't know. You know, a bibliophile is a person who's like books and books and books and books. So she'd go to the library and get books, stacks of books like this and read them in a week. It's insane. So she would be like passed out, and I'd be like, "Come on, Mima, it's time for your roller set." And I'm like rolling it on a pencil at like 4, and she's like, you know, I'm just working away, just slaving, you know? I'm like, I love the smell of perms. Like, I'd go to Fantastic Sam's, like,
oh my gosh, one of those, like, yeah, just addicted right away. Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, and they had this thing that they would, like, turn you around, and you would, like, get a sucker, and I thought it was magical. Like, it was, like, the end-all, be-all if I did not get to go to that salon. So, I mean,
you were in early.
I was in. I was, like, in it, didn't know there was an option, you know? And I think one of the things is, like, people always feel like when they see someone go project fast, they're just like, oh yeah, they came out of nowhere. I'm like, no. I've been doing this over half of my life. So 17 years, so literally over half of my life, I've been in the industry. And it's just within the last 3 years. But I really think that social media just turns things around and gives you family where you didn't know that you had them. And
and I think it, you know, obviously like the whole cliche, it does make the world a smaller place because so many people see that, you know.
It's insane. It's
crazy because like when you talk about it, you're like, I've been doing this for 17 years, and 4 years ago you didn't even have an Instagram.
No.
So it's like I think that's such a great point is people see like this like Insta famous kind of persona, and it's like, like I've been around, I've been doing it. So
I think it's so, I don't know, it's such a funny thing to me to be like this whole Insta famous thing because like I know people personally that have like 345,000 followers, 525, 400, blah, blah, you know, and I'm like, that to me is Insta famous. I'm like a couple thousand shy of 100K. And I'm like, I'm not doing bad for myself, but I think that sometimes the perspective of us is different.
Sure.
You know, than the reality. And I just try and keep it like so real.
It's tough, yeah. A lot of people are judging via, again, we said the glamorous side of the road. Like, look at this picture, this is great. I mean, we're not going to always post our worst days. So I think it doesn't, you know.
I try though.
I agree, but I think there's days that it's just.
My worst days. I don't want anyone to see that. Okay.
Nobody. True.